He's at 9:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. Senior Vice President of Great Lakes Bay Health Centers, Angela Williams, has announced a grant awarded to the health centers in Bay City Central High School for a new center in the school. WSGW's Lilac Esch has this story.
Great Lakes and Bay City Central proposed a planning grant to the state of Michigan last December, and they were awarded $75,000 to make the plans for a school-based health center at the high school. A community advisory council will be formed from the parents of students, school staff, and medical representatives from Great Lakes. The school-based health center will be staffed by licensed medical professionals. Williams told WSGW about what the program plans to provide for the students.
These programs teach students how to navigate the healthcare system, but at the same time meet their needs for mental health, physical health, nutrition, health education, and preventable diseases such as HIV and STDs.
Williams said that they will not be legally allowed to give any abortion or family planning services on school property. Lilac Esch, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
The Michigan Department of Transportation will begin a $1.8 million resurfacing project on M84 or Bay Road next week. Intermittent lane closures and traffic shifts will be in place for roughly 2 miles between McCarty and Cotchville roads starting April 17th. MDOT says the project will improve the driving surface and extend the lifespan for that stretch of M84. Construction is expected to be completed by June 16th. A home security camera at a Flint residence has captured what appears to be a case of excessive use of force by police. On January 26, Flint resident Terry Taylor was arrested at a house after appearing to try to hit one of the officers. Police say while he was being detained on the ground and handcuffed, Officer Charles Redmond, 51 years old, struck Taylor in the head and kicked him in the face. Redmond was initially placed on administrative leave without pay, but has since been assigned to desk duty. He's charged with misdemeanor assault. His next court date is pending. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
I'm starting to worry about all this crime lately.
I was worried too, so I made sure I was prepared.
How'd you do that?
I took my CPL class at Applied Training Solutions. They covered everything I needed to know to get my concealed pistol license. You can never be too safe.
Applied Training Solution is Michigan's premier training facility. We offer both live fire training and digital simulation training. Whether you're looking for your initial training or advanced training, see us at simurange.com or ATS Midland on Facebook.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. In West Michigan, there was a fatal head-on crash in Allendale last night. Ottawa County Sheriff's deputies say one car was driving east on Pierce Street, stopped at a stop sign, and then steered into the path of a truck heading south. Police say the at-fault driver was carrying 3 people. Deputies say one passenger died. 2 others were taken to a hospital with serious injuries. It's a love-hate relationship for many around Metro Detroit. Roads getting fixed, but headaches due to constructions. Here's Michigan News Network's John Hewitt.
In advance of National Work Zone Awareness Week, Governor Gretchen Whitmer paid a visit to the I-96 construction zone, specifically at Beck Road in Novi, a project that won't be complete until the end of 2024. Just one of many MDOT efforts across the metro, leading the governor to ask for patience.
So when you see an orange barrel, it might not make you happy, but it should remind you to slow down and appreciate we're getting work done, but there's men and women on the side of the road risking their lives. Please be careful and stay alert.
Governor Whitmer saying since she has been in office, nearly 20,000 lane miles have been restored across the state, as well as over 1,400 bridges.
John Hewitt for the Michigan News Network.
With warm and dry weather in Michigan, there are concerns about wildfires. There was a forest fire in Sauble Township, northeast of Ludington. Lake County Sheriff Rick Martin says crews worked on the scene for several hours. DNR, and U.S. Forest Service float airplanes helped local fire crews to contain the fire. The National Weather Service in Grand Rapids has issued a fire weather watch for this afternoon and evening. Newaygo County has ordered residents to not burn anything on their property since they've been working to put out grass and brush fires. There are also burn bans throughout northern Michigan as well. WSGW News Time, 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
For your Wednesday, we'll have sunny skies with a high of 78 degrees. This is thanks to high pressure really starting to settle into our south, allowing fully clear skies. Just like the last few days, we'll see that gusty afternoon wind picking up, though. Today's wind gusts up to around 35 miles per hour from the southwest. For tonight, we'll have a clear and comfortable night with a low of 56 degrees, your southwest wind slowing back down. Then on Thursday, sunny again with a high of 79 degrees. That southwest wind gusting up to 25 in the afternoon, but just not as strong as it was on Wednesday. For your Thursday night, 53 for the low, then Friday, 76 for your high with partly to mostly sunny skies. Our next chance of showers, that doesn't arrive until Saturday night. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
And currently 63 degrees in the Great Lakes Bay region.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Their newly expanded showroom and expanded product line. Stop in. You'll find everything you need for your home decorating. We were going to be talking about small business, but our guest has not checked in yet. So we will have open phones until that time happens. 989-752-6111 is the number to call. Whatever's on your mind, we'd love to chat with you on this Wednesday midweek here in the Great Lakes Bay region. Wow. If you hadn't noticed, inflation, you probably hadn't noticed, inflation slowed to 5% in March. However, don't celebrate yet because the core consumer price gains accelerated. And I know if you've been to the gas pump, you know that the gasoline prices have jumped up. I think everything's in the 360s now. And, the core prices exclude volatile food and energy items and only look at the long-lasting trends. Well, guess what? Life doesn't exclude energy prices and food prices. Why they do that, I have absolutely no idea. But it just seems to me that if you're going to talk about inflation, then you have to talk about everything. Because none of us live in a separate world where, we don't have energy and food prices. We just have core prices. No, we don't. We have all of that together. That's the number that should count. To our phones, we start right out this morning, and we've got Paul in Saginaw with us this morning. Paul, good morning to you.
Well, happy spring to you, Art.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You got that right.
Yeah. Yeah, a few issues here, Art. On Friday night's Tim Skubik's PBS show, they said that Michigan has 53 companies owned and operated by China, including Saginaw's next year. And nobody seems to be paranoid schizophrenic about it like the rest of the country is about China's TikTok. So that's one issue.
The TikTok, the difference is, yeah, China owns next year, but the reality is they're not gaining data from you and me from next year. TikTok, they are.
Well, what about the
employees? Let's put it that way.
What about the employees?
Well, the employees work there, so China can see their work.
Right. I
mean,
okay.
Listen, I'm not a great fan of China owning anything in this country, but they own a lot, and we might as well get used to it.
Right.
At least for now.
Right. And the other issue is on Sunday night's CBS 60 Minutes program, they said that Saudi Arabia beheads 80 people every single day for crimes against the government. So I don't think they're our friend doing stuff like that.
Well, right now I don't think this administration has created them friendly.
Right.
But understand this, at other times. We can have friends with whom we disagree on their civil rights. They can be allies in time of crisis, but treat their own citizens in an improper or poor way. And, but they've been beheading people for millenniums. I mean, there's nothing new about that.
Right.
So,
now they're getting together with Iran.
Well, that's the part we should worry about.
Because they know we're building solar, wind, and EVs, and we won't be buying their gas and oil when all that's up and running, and they don't like it. So
that's to be seen.
Yeah,
that's to be seen.
Now, one other issue is I got a friend in Southeast Michigan who tests EVs every day for the big three auto companies. And he said he'd never buy one because, number one, it takes 2 hours to charge, gets only 125 miles per charge, costs $30,000 to $40,000 to buy, plus the wintertime cold affects how the batteries operate and charge. So,
well, that's an exaggeration.
He's not sold on any EVs right now.
That's fine, but it's not totally accurate either. They don't get just 125 miles on a charge; they get more than that.
Well,
I know
in
people.
California, they do because of the warmer weather.
No, I know people that own them around here, and they get more than that. And most of the charging is done overnight when you're sleeping anyway. So what's the big deal? I was at a meeting
outside in the wintertime.
I was at a meeting where Consumers Power was one of 3 panelists, and the guy said that most of the charging is done during non-peak hours overnight when you're sleeping. 80+% of all EVs are charged overnight, and it's you can always look for just the negatives, but if you're going to do that, then you also have to include the positives. I'm not sold on them yet because I don't think the range is good enough, but Stellantis just announced that they're going to have a Dodge pickup that does 500 miles. Now, that's 500 miles without turning anything else on in the vehicle, but even if you turn the heat or the air conditioner and the radio and all that on, you're still going to get reasonable mileage. Because I've always said that, if I'm interested in an EV, it's going to be when they can tell me I'm going to get 500 or more miles on a charge.
Right.
And they're getting there. The batteries are coming along. There's new technology all the time. All right. Got to run.
Can I give you one?
No, that's 3's enough for now. Hold on.
All right.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Right.
Bye-bye.
All right.
And
bye-bye.
Let's talk to Joe in Saginaw. Joe, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. The issue that is worrying me about our current culture is our public education system.
Yeah.
The teachers are having a very difficult time. And the problem is, instead of looking at the issues and trying to correct those issues, we're reducing the qualifications for teachers all the time. I mean, you can have a job as a substitute teacher now if you have a high school diploma. You don't need to know anything.
Yeah.
You don't need to have any college or anything.
Well, the problem is that school systems are facing the same problem as other industries. They can't find people. And consequently, the result is to lower the standard, which I am not in favor of.
The thing is, I think they need to, improve their working conditions and raise their wages if they want to hire people.
Well, let's talk about the wages for a minute here. And I understand what you're saying, because in order to be competitive with other businesses, you have to meet the same dollar amounts. Yeah. However, let's understand also that wages don't necessarily translate into educational success.
Well, that's true.
When I moved here I think it was the 70s, when I moved here, my understanding was that Michigan was the second highest paid teacher salaries in the country, and we ranked 48th in education. They don't go together. They don't go together,
Not necessarily.
Now that's changed, but still, even if it's an exaggeration, it points out that throwing money at it isn't necessarily the answer. I think, first of all, we have to create an atmosphere that people want to teach.
I think that's true, and we have to create an attitude among students that they want to learn.
Yeah, well, in that case, you better create an attitude among parents that hold their students responsible, and the parents get involved in the education.
The problem is that, schools took over so many things that were actually parental responsibilities.
Yep.
When I was a kid, of course, I'm older than you even, but
really?
No,
I didn't know anybody was.
Just about 6 years older. But,
wow. Okay.
But in those days, most of the mothers were at home.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's changed. The world's changed. There's no two ways about that.
Yes, the world has changed. And,
we have to keep up with it.
Yeah, I know. But, in those days, most families, if they had a car, they had one car, and the father took that to work every day. So, our public transportation was pretty good. Our buses in the city were good. And we rode our bikes around every place.
Well, let's understand, too, though, that there wasn't as much suburbia back then.
That's true. But the other thing was that, you knew your neighbors.
Yep.
Now everybody is,
I'll tell you who else I knew.
A lot of people hardly know the people next door.
Yeah, I'll tell you who else I knew. And I grew up in the Bronx, New York. So I grew up with a lot of people around. But I'll tell you who I knew. I knew the beat cop. I knew the guy that walked the beat in my neighborhood.
Yep.
So, and he knew me too. And heaven forbid I did something wrong. He'd have me home in a heartbeat.
We had a voting booth right across the street. There were all kinds of precincts for voting.
Right. All right.
Well,
Joe,
anyhow, just
got to take a break. Good stuff, though. Thanks. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Well, have a good week.
Yep. You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye now.
All right, we'll get to Mike and Shields here in just a couple of moments or two. First of all, let us give away some money, or at least try to. It's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering the baseball word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is Angels, as in Los Angeles Angels, ANGELS. Remember, this is an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks presented by Westside Decorating Center on WSGW. Let me take a moment to talk to you about my car dealer. And when I say my car dealer, I mean that's exactly that. That's where I buy my cars. McDonald Ford in Freeland. I've known the McDonald boys for many years. And Tom Jr. and his son, Tom III, are the proprietors at McDonald Ford. And they really know how to take care of customers because they treat you like family. It's a family business, and they treat everybody they come in contact in like they're members of the family. And Tom Jr. also wants you to know that even though the name of the business is McDonald Ford, if you have a hankering for some other kind of vehicle, on their pre-owned lot, they've got all kinds of marks from Chevys and Jeeps, Buicks, Cadillacs. And I've seen an Audi. I've seen a Mercedes. I've seen all kinds of vehicles on their pre-owned lot. All have been through a 100-point inspection process. So when you drive away with confidence. But you can also have confidence that they have a fabulous service department that can handle the smallest to the most major repairs on your vehicle. They have the Drive Collision Center, where if you need body work, they can take care of that. And they have the Quick Lane Center for quick oil changes and minor service. It's all waiting for you at McDonald Ford in Freeland, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland. Stop out, visit them, become part of the McDonald Ford family, and won't hurt to tell them Art Lewis sent you. You just never know.
Chimeric antigen T-cell therapy, or CAR T-cell therapy, is a unique, personalized approach that harnesses a patient's own T-cells and genetically engineers them to recognize and attack cancer. Among patients with large B-cell lymphoma, or LBCL, it's making a difference in this difficult-to-treat blood cancer. Dr. Manali Kamdar is an associate professor of medicine and clinical director of lymphoma services at the University of Colorado Hospital.
The safety profile and effectiveness seen with CAR T-cell therapy reinforces use among appropriate large B-cell lymphoma patients. Advances in treatment have created a shift in the nearly 30-year standard practice, increasing the potential of long-term remission for more patients.
Patients treated with CAR T-cell therapy may experience serious side effects, including cytokine release syndrome and neurotoxicity, which can happen in the first few days to several weeks after infusion. Talk to a doctor to see if CAR T-cell therapy is right for you. For more information, visit bms.com/cell therapy info. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Inflation cooled more than expected in March. The consumer price index rose 5% in the year ending in March, a 0.1% increase from February. Though the annual increase is still much stronger inflation than the 2% range from before the pandemic, both increases were more moderate than economists were predicting, and an improvement from February readings. Excluding food and energy, core inflation rose 5.6% in the year ending in March. Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee said yesterday the Fed should proceed cautiously with any additional rate increases considering the after effects of recent bank failures. American Airlines is moderating its forecast for the current quarter to the low end of what analysts were predicting. The stock is lower. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
You might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show for this Wednesday morning. Open phones, and let's talk to Mike in Shields. Mike, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, and a nice sunny morning it is.
Indeed it is.
Well, I'm going to enjoy this week. All my sun.
Yeah, it's going to get normal next week, so enjoy it this week.
Yeah. But anyway, did you ever hear or find out anything more? I called about a week and a half ago about the Chinese. Our governor made a deal with them for $1.3 billion, something like that, to build a battery plant. And now I understand there's 2 battery plants being made. One down Marshall and the other one's up around...
well, that'll employ a lot of Michigan residents.
Well, that was one of the things that I was puzzled. That's why I was hoping you would find out something about it. Because on the first report that it said that Chinese had to run it, the Chinese that were coming over from the mainland to run it, and that they had to have X amount. I can't remember the number, but X amount of Chinese, in the business.
I haven't
And-
heard that. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what puzzled me. That sounded kind of strange, but it doesn't sound like Michigan gets much out of this unless we do employ.
Well, I don't
some
know. I
people.
mean, we've got next year sitting here. We don't
I
have
know.
an overwhelming amount of Chinese working in the next year plant.
No, I understand that. That's my question is if they did really make that a stipulation, that would seem puzzling.
I would be, and I don't know.
Yeah, I wish
don't
that
know.
it's the problem we have nowadays is that news media, and I'm not criticizing you at all. Trust me, you're a good man, but they don't give us the whole story. They everything is slanted or the way that they want it to come across. It never comes across as any criticism. Or very little, although now lately I've been hearing Joe getting criticized a little bit on some of the media. But before, they were protecting him. And, I wish they'd just do the news like they used to when you had the Walter Cronkites and the people
Those
like
days
that.
are
back
gone.
in the-
Those
Well,
days are gone because they're also not only competing with each other, they're competing with social media and everything else. I mean, it's the days of the purist journalists seem to be history, unfortunately.
Yeah, I really like that. I just
Although,
never-
although when we say that, we have to make sure we're talking about national because I don't think that's true locally.
Oh, no, I agree with you 100%.
So, all right.
Okay, well, thank you. Have a great day now.
All right, Mike, have a good one. Bye-bye now. And let's talk to Jane in Freeland. Jane, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm actually listening to your previous caller, and I was going to discuss what he just said, too, that I've heard that our governor has made a deal with China over there in Charter Township over by Grand Rapids.
yeah.
And they're supposed to be taking off maybe, I don't know, I heard 700 acres, but then I heard 400, and she's giving them $15 million tax credits. And I heard it in different sources. But then she's bringing in the other question is they say she's bringing in 200 to 300 Chinese nationalists to work, and they're supposed to be housed over at Ferris University State College. So I've been really upset about it for the last few weeks, and I think they are fighting it over there at that Green Charter Township. And I don't know why we can't keep the jobs here and not have them come in and take some of our jobs and plus give them tax breaks. But I've been hearing it from different people. So hopefully she hasn't,
Giving away the
decided
farm?
to be on the other side, not work with us, but be on the other side. And
Let's see here. Chinese battery plant in Michigan.
Charter.
Let me see what it says.
Green Charter Township.
Well, hang on a minute. Let's see here. It's a mega site project, Chinese ownership. Mecosta County.
Yep, that's Green Charter Township
And
too.
it's a company called Goshen Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
And they get they're in line for almost $1.1 billion in state funding in the form of $907 million in tax breaks plus $175 million from the $1.6 billion Strategic Outreach and Reserve Fund. They have reduced its initial footprint to just Green Charter. And let me see what it says about employees. There's been accusations that there'll be a CCP arm on the site when the factory's built. That's the Chinese Communist Party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know that I would buy into that yet. I think that whenever we get these things going, there's all kinds of stuff. I don't see anything about employees, though.
Well,
I don't see
wherever
anything.
I was looking, it said 250 to 300. They're bringing in the Chinese nationalists. I think they're youth, I think, but and they're fighting it over there. They don't want it, and I don't see why we would want something like that if we can't own it.
Well, the ownership is one thing, but we want it for employment. It's, if they bring in, even if they brought in, I don't know that they are, but even if they brought in 200 or 300 Chinese nationals for a Chinese company, if it's going to employ, some of these plants employ 2,500 people, for example, then you say, is it worth it? Well, is Nexteer worth it sitting in your backyard?
Well, we have 10 other ones. I looked it up. We have 10 other plants in Michigan or factories that are Chinese, but I think because I'm getting a little nervous because I've heard that we've letting them in the back door too through Mexico. Like there's 1,500 Chinese nationalists, and they are coming through.
I don't know where you're getting that from, so I can't.
Well, I'm kind of real concerned about our nation.
Well, I am too.
China's getting a little excited about us going down the tubes here a little bit.
Yeah, China's getting real excited about us. As a matter of fact, they're willing to go to war. We're not right now. I am concerned about the leadership and the way the country is going. I will give you that. However, if the Chinese are going to build a factory, I'd rather see them build it here than somewhere else.
Well, why can't we build it? Why can't we?
Well,
I think we have the technology.
Fine if you can. We have the technology. All you have to do is find the money. Find somebody that wants to build it. I would not have a problem with that at all. I think that'd be wonderful. But right now, anyway, until we come to terms with that, and until we figure out how to get that kind of investment from our own people, we've complained about everything being built in China. So it's probably, let's put it this way, it's a compromise right now until we figure out how to do it the way you suggest. And I love the way you suggest, don't get me wrong. That's the way I'd want it too. But until then, it's the old saying, you can't look the gift horse in the mouth.
We have the money. If we're giving away, billions and billions of dollars, why don't we have the money here?
Well, because that's only a portion of the cost. The 1.1 billion in tax credits, 207 of it in tax credits and things. You still have to have the money to build a plant. You still have to have the resources. You still have to have somebody willing to spend that money.
And we can't find.
I don't know.
Like
what is
that
so
one that ran for governor? Perry Johnson, was it? Or
yeah. What about him?
I think he has a lot of money.
Well, maybe he doesn't want to build a battery plant, though. Just because he has a lot of money doesn't mean he wants to build a battery plant.
But we have billionaires here in Michigan that
all you got to do is
maybe they want to save us.
Figure out how to convince one of them to build a battery plant. Then,
then maybe Gretchen should do that.
Well, maybe she's trying but can't. I don't know. I can't tell you. I understand what you're saying, but it's simplistic. It's easy to say some billionaire ought to build a plant. It's a lot more difficult to get that billionaire to spend the money needed to build the plant. So anyway, got to run.
Anyway, are you a little concerned about France flying over to see China? And, they seem like they're deciding to be on their side.
I haven't seen France. They can talk to China all they want. That doesn't mean they're on their side. This is a world economy, and they depend on China like everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got to run, Jane. I'm late for a break here. I'm late for all right. Well, I hope you do. All right, Jane. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now. We'll be back.
Choosing to do business with Garber means choosing better. Their low price guarantee means you help make better happen in our community, and it doesn't cost you a penny more. Mike Hull, President and CEO of Make-A-Wish of Michigan. There's a lot of kids facing serious health challenges. How can we make things better for them?
This year, our goal is to grant more wishes than ever in our history, which is 475 wishes this year. And with the help of companies like Garber, we will be able to do this.
And Mike, can you tell us about the big Make-A-Wish fundraiser that's coming up?
The Associated Builders and Contractors of Greater Michigan, in collaboration with Garber, are hosting their 36th annual event to benefit Make-A-Wish Michigan. It's going to be a Hawaiian-themed gala on Friday, April 21st. To get tickets information, just go to abcgmc.org.
Making better happen for Make-A-Wish.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber.
A 401k can be an important asset for many Americans' retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years. Tune in Sundays at 8 a.m. on WSGW for your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment in Midland. They will give you information like how your 401k's tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. Lines open for you, 989-752-6111. Talk about electric vehicles, batteries, and all that stuff. Biden administration announces today some tough new auto emission rules designed to accelerate electric vehicle transition. In other words, shove it down your throat. They want 2/3 of the new U.S. car market to be electric by 2032. Proposed rules set aggressively low standards for emissions of greenhouse gases. And understand, these rules are reversible, as we've seen as administrations change. Incoming administrations rescind and change and what have you. But at this time in our history with this administration, Big Brother is looking to tell you everything in your life. And that's worrisome to me. It is worrisome to me. Do I want an electric vehicle? Yeah, I want an electric vehicle if it satisfies my driving needs. I've said many, many times I'm waiting for battery range to reach 500 miles, and it's possible. It's quite conceivable. There is a thing called range anxiety, where it keeps you from buying a car because you worry about running out of energy while you're driving. And I understand that. Most people that buy electric cars are not buying them for over-the-road use. They're buying them for local around town use and things of that nature, and that's fine. You charge it up at night, you never run out. I've had electric vehicles for several days at a time and never once charged them and drove them all over the place. So, I mean, if that's your goal, local, fine. They're great cars. I have nothing against that kind of propulsion system. But I want it to be comparable to what I get out of my gasoline-powered car today and how far I can go. Tell you what we're going to do. Al, hang on. I want to take a break so I don't cut you short here. And then we'll come back and talk to Al in Midland.
Wouldn't you like to have the peace of mind in knowing that you have protected the important things in your life, like your family and your assets, against the high cost of the nursing home, the IRS, and probate?
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I practice elder law, estate, and asset protection planning. There are 3 myths about Medicaid laws that you should know. Myth number 1, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your house. That's not true. Myth number 2, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 5 years to qualify. That's not true either. You can avoid this problem. Myth number 3, you have to give away your assets to protect them. That's not true either. You can keep control of your assets and protect them.
Are you prepared? Is your estate planning current? Are your assets safe? Are you Medicaid ready? Listen, learn, and talk to a professional who has made it a career of helping families and businesses protect their assets. Attend Jerry Reif's Are You Prepared workshop on Wednesday, April 19th at Capocco Community Credit Union in Saginaw at 2 p.m. To register, call 989-790-1461 or register online at jerryreiflawyer.com.
Let me tell you about the Lumberjack Restaurant of West Branch. Are you looking for a place that will satisfy the food cravings of the entire family? Well, look no further. At the Lumberjack, you're sure to enjoy the food and company, all while getting a pure up-north dining experience. With an array of entrees, burgers, omelets, desserts, and more, it's a sure thing that there's something for everyone. The homestyle cooking is sure to have you coming back for more. So head up north to the Lumberjack Restaurant of West Branch, exit 212, I-75.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease, asthma, diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older, 52, 36, 42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Tom Sullivan, weeknights at 7 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Indeed. Actually, Tom has moved up an hour now. He's on at 6 o'clock here on WSGW. And let us get back to our phones and chat with Mike. No, Al, who is in Midland. Al, good morning.
Good morning, Arthur.
Morning.
Hey, on your inflation thing, the reason why they take it out is it makes it hard to compare with previous recession when we've had downturns, and they want to change it so that they can compare apples to oranges instead of apples to apples.
Yeah, and also those are food prices, and particularly energy prices, are commodities, so they're up and down. I understand that, but I still think it's unrealistic because that's not how we live. Tell me how I live. Don't tell me how you want me to live. Tell me how I really live. I really live by going to the gas station. I really live by going to the grocery store.
I heard one of the auto manufacturers is either Dodge or Ford had a pickup that went 800 miles on.
Not 800, 500, I think it is. That's Dodge.
No, I heard it 2 days ago. They've got a brand new one out. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I'm a little scared about the price tag because that price tag is going to be way up there.
Dodge announced they have a new pickup coming that'll do 500. I did not hear 800 anywhere.
Oh, I heard this 2 days ago.
Yeah,
so
I'll have to look, but
it's in the works.
I'd take 500. Even 500 is better than what we're getting now. I mean, and of course, those figures don't realistically tell you what it's going to be like to drive. It's like, listen, it's like the gasoline average fuel economy standards. They tell you your car's going to get 28 miles a gallon on average, and then you end up with 25 because you don't drive it the way they test it.
Sure.
So it's it's a catch-22.
The other thing is you talk about the mileage problems with the fuel ratio. I forget what you called it, but with gasoline, you get abundance heat, and in the wintertime, that's an advantage. In the summer, it's not an advantage, but with the battery vehicle, you don't have that advantage. You need the heat, and you need the battery to do everything. So the electric vehicle's got to provide heat and transportation.
We know that, but that's why the range varies, because they may tell you you're going to get 300 miles, but then you turn your heater on and now you get 250 miles.
Right. That's the big concern for a lot of people, because we live in a climate where if you get stuck for a couple of days, you might have to run the motor. Well, the electric vehicle doesn't work like that.
Well,
it's not going to generate the heat.
I don't buy a car on that basis. I don't expect to get stuck for a couple of days.
I know, but the problem is that you're foisting the country, the government is foisting this on the population.
That I agree with.
And they're trying to fit everything into that round hole with square peg.
Yeah, and that's this administration and their view on the ecology of the world, and that's. So I listen. We got to live with whatever they do today because they're the ones with the power. If you don't like it, you change it.
Yeah, on the Chinese company business, we have a company here in town. I worked for this company.
Next year.
They're in an industrial park, and what happened was they were jointly owned 50% by England, British, and 50% owned by American. And during Bill Clinton's administration, we had a little economic downturn, and the company ran into financial problems where they weren't able to pay the bills, and so they were almost declaring bankruptcy. China came in and bought it lock, stock, and barrel. They shoved out all the American workers practically. I think they got 2 or 3 left. This was a large company. They shoved out all the British. They sent them back home, and they brought in from mainland China. They brought in I think about 90 or 105. At the time that I was there, they bought 105 or 90 mainland China.
What company was this?
Ingersoll Rand, or Ingersoll CM
Rand.
Systems.
Yeah.
Ingersoll
All right.
CM Systems. They made crankshafts for all the small engines.
Right.
If you're driving around a vehicle that has a crankshaft that's made, chances are this company made the machine that made the crankshaft.
All right.
They
Alec,
got
gotta
that,
run.
and it's Chinese owned now. They got a Chinese flag out front. So,
all right.
Thanks, Arthur.
Take care.
Have a nice weekend.
You bet. Bye-bye now. All right, couple of minutes left. In studio with me this morning, sitting here job shadowing, is Matthew and Matthew Lester, and he's from Carleton High School.
Yes, that's correct.
So what's your future? Well, first of all, what grade are you in, Matthew?
I'm a senior.
And what's your future? What do you want to do?
I want to go into broadcasting.
Good. So he's job shadowing today. He's going to go in and I think watch Mike Avery get recorded, which is going on today. And he'll get to sit in with Farm Director Terry Henney for a while. And Matthew also works there part-time because he does some backup work for the Spirit Games and things like that. And his mom works here too. So Matthew has a tie to the station. So what have you learned so far watching what we do?
Well, radio is really interesting. There's a lot that goes into it, but I feel like once you get the hang of things, it's really simple.
I hope you haven't learned that because it's not. You know, let's put it this way. When you do it, as long as I've been doing it and Charlie and others have been doing it, it may look simple on the outside. What you don't see is what goes on before the microphone goes on. You don't see how many hours I might spend looking for things, research, stuff like that I do background work. You don't see, when you sit in the studio like this and you see the end product, you don't see what built the product. And you'll learn that as you go along. And of course, you're inside the building a lot, so you get to see it. But been a great business to me. I love it. And if that's what you want to do, I'd say go for it. You know, don't let anybody tell you no.
Let me ask you a question. What got you into radio?
Backed into it by accident. I wanted to be in television as a director. Worked for a little company in New Mexico. And the owner came in the control room one day and said, go home, get dressed. You're doing TV news and a radio show tonight. And I said, not me. I'm a button pusher and director. You're 2,000 miles from home and I'm paying your salary. Next thing I knew, I was in radio. That's it. Got to run. I'm out of time here. Matthew, on you go to see how Mike Avery does it all. And we'll be back with more next hour.
Retirement is more than a newly discovered free time. It's a time to reflect on how you'll be remembered and your legacy. It's important to make proper arrangements now. Tune in to WSGW every Sunday at 8 a.m. to your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors in Midland. Learn how to structure your retirement savings to increase the value of your estate and help leave the legacy you want. Plus, call Great Lakes Investment Advisors today, and they will include a complimentary Legacy Maximizer at 989-835-7203. That's 989-835-7203. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Dazzling decal on Daisy's Donuts window. Bold banner at Barry's Barbershop. Prominent poster at Penny's on Park Place.
This is your sign. Well, signs. To try Staples and see the difference. Get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more.
From Staples, and I couldn't miss it.
Ends 4/15. Visit staplesconnect.com/printbig for details.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Midland Sand Company. You're going to get half off of a $250 gift voucher. Midland Sand is your premier local supplier of sand, topsoil, gravel, and other aggregate products. If you're in need of field sand for your next big project, they have you covered, supplying both residential customers and commercial contractors. Head over to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. All right, that'll do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back to talk about alcohol and how it affects your body with Shanthi Appelo from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Allison Keyes in Washington. Inflation slowed down in March, partly thanks to those interest rate hikes from the Federal Reserve. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Energy prices are way down from a year ago when we were seeing the impact of the war in Ukraine. The energy commodities are down by 17% from a year ago. Gasoline down by 17.4%.
The Biden administration is trying to get Russia to release a Wall Street Journal reporter, or at least to gain access to him. Ambassador Roger Carsten spoke with CBS Mornings.
I really can't get into the specifics of the negotiation and what our strategy is. And for the main reason that every time we negotiate in public, we might be lessening our chances to actually get a return. What I can tell you is that a lot of options are on the table. They're being considered.
There are reports that an American has been detained in Libya. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
The State Department says it's aware of the reports which claim American Jeff Wilson has been detained by a militia in Tripoli. The reports claim he's charged with secretly establishing an organization to spread Christianity in Libya. The State Department has a do not travel advisory for that country.
President Biden, speaking in Northern Ireland this morning, marks the 25th year since the signing of the Good Friday Agreement that set up a legislature there.
In 1998, it was the longest-running conflict in Europe since the end of World War II. Thousands of families have been affected by the Troubles. Losses are real. The pain was personal. I need not tell many people in this audience.
Another Republican fast-tracking a decision on whether to run for the White House in 2024. CBS's Jim Krasula with more.
Republican South Carolina Senator Tim Scott is eyeing the White House, issuing a statement on social media.
I will never back down in defense of the conservative values that make America exceptional. And that's why I'm announcing my exploratory committee for president of the United States.
Scott is expected to make his presidential run official later today. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
Get this image in your head. The Terminator fixing a street. CBS's Chris Cruz.
Arnold Schwarzenegger had enough, so he picked up a shovel and, along with a helper, filled the hole with packaged cement.
This is crazy. For 3 weeks I've been waiting for this hole to be closed.
Mayor Karen Bass last week announced a plan to address what she called an unprecedented number of new potholes caused by recent storms.
Superstar Michael Jordan's shoes for the 1998 NBA Finals sold at auction for $2.2 million, setting a world record for the most expensive sneakers sold ever. This is CBS News.
Hire with minimal effort and maximum success with Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Welcome to the Helena FieldLink Minute. Today, brand manager Austin Anderson highlights the benefits of adjuvants, like their product Grounded, for early season weed control.
We get these rains that come in that activate our herbicides, but the good component of Grounded is it allows us to be able to keep that active ingredient from going below the germination zone of where a lot of these weed seeds are actually germinating. We have a compatibility component. No two recipes are quite exactly the same, so it gives you the flexibility to go out there with one pass and kill the various weeds that are up. You think about drip reduction, so a lot of our oil-based adjuvants have that drip control component to them. So this one allows us to be able to deliver active ingredient on target. So a lot of what you're spraying isn't ending up in your neighbor's fields. And then you've got a deposition aid that allows us to really be able to get that active ingredient on some of those weeds that may have gotten some size.
For more tips from Helena, subscribe to Helena's FieldLink podcast wherever you listen.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 57 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Birchup. Federal lawmakers announced a $73 million grant for the replacement of Lafayette Street Bridge in Bay City. The funds come from the U.S. Department of Transportation Bridge Investment Program through the bipartisan infrastructure law passed last year. Senator Gary Peters says replacing the 85-year-old bridge will help improve quality of life for Bay City residents and improve the local economy. Peters was joined in the announcement by Senator Debbie Stabenow and Congressman Dan Kildee. They say the investment will make the bridge safer for drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians. A new program launched Tuesday will remove certain criminal convictions from Michiganda's records. WSGW's Jonathan Dent explains.
The automatic expungement program is being run through Michigan State Police in accordance with the state's Clean Slate law enacted in 2020. In a video announcement on Tuesday, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel said that setting aside convictions can help people improve their living situation. The program will remove up to 2 felony convictions from someone's record 10 years after the beginning of their sentence or the end of any imprisonment. Residents can also have up to 4 misdemeanors punishable by more than 93 days removed after 7 years. There's no limit to the number of misdemeanors with a sentence less than 93 days that one can have removed. Residents can see the status of their public records at michigan.gov/ICHAT. Jonathan Dent, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
Cedar Point is hosting its first ever Jobs Fun Fair hiring party. The party will be a cookout style setting at the main gate of Cedar Point on the Saturday the 15th and Sunday the 16th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Once hired, new employees will receive 2 complimentary admission tickets and will be entered into a VIP tour package raffle. Visit cedarpoint.com/jobs for more information. WSGW News Time 10:07.
Wouldn't you like to have the peace of mind in knowing that you have protected the important things in your life, like your family and your assets, against the high cost of the nursing home, the IRS, and probate?
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I practice elder law, estate, and asset protection planning. There are 3 myths about Medicaid laws that you should know. Myth number 1, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your house. That's not true. Myth number 2, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 5 years to qualify. That's not true either. You can avoid this problem. Myth number 3, you have to give away your assets to protect them. That's not true either. You can keep control of your assets and protect them.
Are you prepared? Is your estate planning current? Are your assets safe? Are you Medicaid ready? Listen, learn, and talk to a professional who has made it a career of helping families and businesses protect their assets. Attend Jerry Reif's Are You Prepared workshop on Wednesday, April 19th at Capocco Community Credit Union in Saginaw at 2 p.m. To register, call 989-790-1461 or register online at jerryreiflawyer.com.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. The body of a missing Wakefield man has been found in the Upper Peninsula. The Gogebic County Sheriff's Department received a tip about 37-year-old Rudy Massey, who was reported missing March 31st. Deputies say warmer weather melted the snow enough to reveal tracks, which led them to Massey's body Monday night. His death is under investigation. Today is Inflation Day, according to Michigan News Network's Murray Feldman, who says the day the government tells us how much more pain higher prices caused us last month.
Half of Americans say their pain is growing, that they're worse off financially now compared to a year ago. That's the largest number since the Great Recession of 2008 and 2009. Today's inflation report, the latest consumer price index, will do little to change that. It's expected we'll see prices continue to rise last month, but perhaps not as much as the month before. Economists expect our current inflation rate of 6% to fall to about 5.2% when the March figure is released at 8:30 this morning. That'll show that the Federal Reserve is making progress in bringing inflation down with higher interest rates. But our inflation rate will still be more than twice as high as the Federal Reserve wants to see, and more than twice as high as we've been used to over the past decade. I'm Murray Feldman, the Michigan News Network.
Starting today, weight restrictions have been lifted on all trunk line highways stretching from the southern Michigan border to the Mackinac Bridge. The weight adjustment for the lower peninsula helps protect roads when pavement freezes and begins to thaw. Melting snow and ice often soften the ground, and moisture is trapped beneath. Michigan Department of Transportation determines weight restrictions based on the frost line, which allows moisture to escape and roads maintain stabilities. For more information, visit michigan.gov/truckers. And now for WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Monroe.
For your Wednesday, we'll have sunny skies with a high of 78 degrees. This is thanks to high pressure really starting to settle into our south, allowing fully clear skies. Just like the last few days, we'll see that gusty afternoon wind picking up, though. Today's wind gusts up to around 35 miles per hour from the southwest. For tonight, we'll have a clear and comfortable night with a low of 56 degrees. Your southwest wind slowing back down. Then on Thursday, sunny again with a high of 79 degrees. That southwest wind gusting up to 25 in the afternoon, but just not as strong as it was on Wednesday. For your Thursday night, 53 for the low, then Friday, 76 for your high with partly to mostly sunny skies. Our next chance of showers, that doesn't arrive until Saturday night. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Currently 67 degrees here at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
And indeed, Westside Decorating Center, our sponsor, 5789 State Street in Saginaw, with their newly expanded showroom and newly expanded product lines, including countertops now. You can find quartz, granite, and porcelain waiting for you at Westside Decorating Center. We're going to start this hour talking about alcohol and how it might impact your body. And we're going to do that with our good friend from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. We say good morning to Shanthi Appelo. Hi, Shanthi.
Hey, Art. How's it going today?
Good. Okay, the number one question, the biggest question facing us all today.
Mm-hmm.
When are you married?
I'm sorry?
When are you getting married?
We actually just set a date. We're doing it.
Did you really? Good deal.
Next year in May, so we've got a whole year.
You got time in.
Yes.
Time to think about a gift. That's good. That's
yes. Take some time to travel and all that.
On a more serious note, as we might say, we want to talk about alcohol and how it influences our body in terms of weight, how it influences nutrients we take in.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the first question is, does it do all of that? Does it have a negative impact, for example, on weight?
Yeah, so I think we can start by kind of defining what heavy and binge drinking is versus like light to moderate drinking, because that really plays a role in how alcohol can affect our body, and especially with weight gain. Because usually the more serious side effects are associated with more heavy drinking. So binge drinking is if a man consumes 5 or more drinks on an occasion and 4 or more for a woman. Moderate drinking.
Wait. Now,
Go ahead.
I'm a teetotaler, so I don't drink at all. But
yes,
5 or more drinks on an occasion.
Mm-hmm.
I think to make that an understood philosophy, we have to know how long is the occasion. If it's 12 hours or if it's 2 hours, it's going to make a difference, isn't it? I mean, if I had 5 drinks over 12 hours and 5 drinks over 2 hours, the results are going to be different, aren't they?
Right, right. So let's just say an evening, right?
Okay, good. All right, good. We
Yeah.
define.
And then moderate drinking is about 2 drinks for a man and 1 drink a day for a woman.
So when you say drinks,
Mhm.
anything with alcohol, or is there a difference in what beer would do to you as opposed to scotch on the rocks?
So, when I refer to a drink, it's 5 ounces of wine, 12 ounces of beer, or an ounce and a half of like liquor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're
And
all
of course, what you consume it with does matter as well. But let's just talk about alcohol in general and how it can affect our body and nutrient absorption in general. So, whenever we drink alcohol, we don't have a storage form of alcohol in our body. So, whenever we take in other nutrients, let's just say like protein, carbs, fat, those all have a storage form in our body. So, because we don't have that storage, our liver's like, hey, this is a toxic substance. We need to get rid of it. And it's going to pull alcohol to the front lines in terms of what it's going to break down first. So, it does put other nutrients on the back burner. Something that it can do is actually inactivate and block the absorption of folate. Now, folate is a B vitamin that is involved in cell division. It's involved in creating DNA. And so if we are then blocking the absorption and depleting our stores of folate, it can increase our risk for certain cancers. So, for example, breast cancer, colon cancer, and it can increase our risk for heart disease. So that's one of the things that it does that can affect our nutrients. Another thing is that it can affect hormones in our body. So heavy drinking in particular can increase cortisol levels. And cortisol is a stress hormone that tends to favor fat accumulation in our gut area, generally where fat tends to be more problematic in our body. And usually cortisol is going to make us crave more sweet and fatty things. So in that way, it can contribute to weight gain.
That craving. You don't have to
Yeah.
that craving, do you?
Yeah, no, but that brings up another good point. And, some studies, there was a study that followed 15,000 men over 4 years, and they explored their drinking habits. And they found that people who did drink moderately or, had higher intakes of alcohol did have a slight weight gain. But they did find that it wasn't so much due to the actual alcohol itself, but the choices that they made as a result of drinking alcohol. So, maybe they gravitated more towards the unhealthy foods. Maybe they would have chosen other healthier foods, but then, alcohol kind of inhibited their ability to make those choices, the healthier choices. So that's another way that it can impact our weight gain. But alcohol itself does come along with calories too. So the way that I like to compare alcohol to other nutrients in our body is we look at calories per gram. So for example, carbohydrates and protein have 4 calories per gram versus fat has 9. Looking at alcohol, that has 7 calories per gram. So even though we look at an ounce and a half of vodka as like a clear liquid, it's probably doesn't have that much, right? That's still 100 calories. And if you add that up and mix it with all the other, things that you put in it, whether it's like some kind of cola or some kind of juice or whatever, that continues to add up.
So you understand that the public can be confused sometimes because on the one hand, we understand binge drinking is not good for us. On the other hand, we have professionals telling us, well, you should have a glass of wine or 2 a day.
Yeah.
That it's good for you. So, the way the human mind works, if you tell me that a glass of red wine is good for me, then I tell myself 10 glasses is better for me, which is true, of course. But what's the break point? At what point is alcohol good for me? And at what point is it not good for me?
Yeah. So some studies have shown that light to moderate drinking can actually have positive health effects. So that can be tied to like improved heart health and things like that. Now, there's still that recommendation that if you don't drink, you shouldn't start drinking for these benefits. Like there's not enough benefits there to start drinking.
I don't plan.
Right? Yes. Now, that recommendation comes in, like if people are drinking, there are some benefits associated with wine, for example, because it does have that polyphenol content, which is, these plant compounds that can offer a lot of health benefits. But it is limited to no more than 1 drink a day for women and no more than 2 drinks a day for men. And of course, everyday drinking is not a good idea, but that's where the recommendations are right now.
So let me ask this. The polyphenols from the wine, would I get the same benefit by eating a handful of grapes?
I don't know the answer to that question. But I will say that the grapes are going to have the polyphenol content as well. I don't know what difference it makes to have the fermentation process and what that does to the wine. But I'm happy to look into that maybe for our next conversation.
Oh, good. All right, I'm going to take a break. Hang on, and we'll be back. We're talking to Shanthi Appelo from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, and we will be back with Shanthi after these notes.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Are you looking for a place that will satisfy the food cravings of the entire family? Look no further. The Lumberjack restaurant of West Branch will do just that. At the Lumberjack, you're sure to enjoy the food and company, all while getting a pure, up-north dining experience. The home-style cooking is sure to have you coming back for more. With an array of entrees, burgers, omelets, desserts, and more, it's certain that there's something for everyone to love. So head up north to the Lumberjack restaurant of West Branch, exit 212, I-75.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher after a sign of inflation moderating. You were paying more for things in March, but the increases were for the most part smaller than in February. The Consumer Price Index rose 0.1% from February to March. The CPI for the year ending in March was up 5%, down from the 6% annual increase in February. Core inflation, excluding food and energy, actually rose at a stronger 5.6% pace in March. American Airlines is revising its forecast to the low end of Wall Street predictions. The stock is down 5%. Delta Airlines says by next year, 30% of its seats will be more expensive, premium priced with upgraded comfort and services. It's betting affluent passengers will be willing to spend more. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Shanthi Appelo from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. We've been talking about alcohol and how it impacts the body and how it impacts your nutrient intake. So just to wrap up on the alcohol, I think you said it pretty clearly, if you don't drink, don't start, because you don't have to. There's other ways to get the nutrients and all that good stuff. But if you do drink, maintain the reasonable limits, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, just consider if you are drinking, where your alcohol is coming from too. If you're mixing drinks and things like that, there are ways to make them healthier. I love using fresh fruit, muddling them, getting all that flavor, using fresh herbs to get flavors in there. So there's a lot better ways than just, picking up a mixer that is so heavy in sugar and things like that, then, to do it differently. And something too to consider is that, these drinks can really add up, like a pina colada, because it does have all that coconut cream and sugar, can add up to about 500 calories in a drink, which is sometimes what people consume in a whole meal. So just being aware of how that can add up.
All right. I want to take you into another direction here. I want to talk about diets for a minute. And I know that most nutritionists that I talk to hate the word diet.
We do.
Is there, if a person wants to lose weight,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll talk about different weight loss because there's different parts of the body, but let's for now just say weight loss. Is there anything better, anything at all better than expending more calories than you take in, period?
So that is like the most fundamental way that you can lose weight. And yeah, that is 100% the best way. But I think, it's so important not to make that blanket statement that it's as easy as that, because there's so many other factors that play a role in our lives, right? And so, there are hormones involved. There are environmental factors involved. There are so many different things. So I wish it were as black and white as to say that, but like making that happen is another story, right?
How do those things impact us? That's interesting, because if I take in 2,000 calories, but I expend 3,000 calories, I'm not worried about other factors, am I? Or should I be?
Well, so when I talk about other factors, like you asked how those can influence things. So, one of those things is, for example, stress. I know that a lot of people in America are
My next
stressed.
question.
Yeah. And so stress can definitely impact our hormones in a lot of different ways. And, I mentioned previously that stress hormone that when we are heavy drinking can increase, and that's cortisol. When we are under stress, especially that chronic stress, because when we're only stressed in the short term, say it's like we're sitting in traffic or like someone's about to rear end us, that's the adrenaline rush. And usually that shuts off those our want to eat. But whenever we are stressed, the cortisol hormones can rise. And like I mentioned before, it can favor that fat accumulation in our gut. So that makes it more difficult to lose weight, especially in that area. So that's part of the conversation. And then, of course, we tend to choose those sweet and fatty foods whenever we're stressed. It can be part of that can be cortisol, because it does make us crave those things. But the other part is that a lot of people use food as a way to kind of feel better, because in the short term, having these foods that taste really good, that are high in fat, high in sugar, it triggers these reward mechanisms in our brain, these reward pathways, which tell us, hey, this was a good idea. Like, you are feeling a little bit better now. You are feeling a little bit less stressed. So,
So what do you tell someone? I mean, if you go to the doctor and they talk about nutrition, they're going to tell you to eat green leafy things, which is fine, salads and things of that nature. How do you convince somebody who maybe all their life has had fried food and all that other stuff, not paid attention to nutrition, and now they're being told, well, you got to eat green leafy stuff? How do you convince them that that's the way to go?
Well, that's like one piece of a big puzzle, right? I think it's so important to recognize what some of these nutrients actually do for you and how they do that. So, for example, leafy greens is going to be great for heart health in a number of ways. It's going to be great for digestion. So, I think rather than just saying like, leafy greens is going to be your medicine, focusing on ways that you can actually make that happen. So, for example, if I'm encouraging someone to have more of those leafy greens, I'm going to say that it's going to make you feel fuller for longer. That's something that a lot of people struggle with when they're trying to lose weight, is that they're always feeling hungry. And it's really hard to shut that off. So maybe we can explore ways to actually make leafy greens taste good. Maybe find ways that leafy greens can make it into their cultural foods. Because if you don't know how to eat leafy greens or make them taste good, why are you going to eat them?
I got it. Take a whole bunch of French dressing and pour it all over it.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things, Art, is a little TLC. So, one of the best leafy greens out there is going to be kale. But kale by itself doesn't taste that great, especially with those stalks and things like that. But if you remove those heavy green stalks and you give it a little massage, it's going to taste so much better. So you need to give that kale about 20 minutes of a gentle massage, and I promise it's great. And I think you can find ways to enjoy it, right? So a lot of people like Caesar salad. If you are a Caesar salad lover, substituting romaine for some massaged kale is really delicious.
But what about
But you've got to find ways to fit things into what people actually like and are gonna do, because otherwise it's just throwing it out there.
If I dump that fresh French dressing on there, I am kind of counteracting the benefits, am I not?
I think something that we need to think about in terms of nutrients is adding nutrients to our life is a good thing. And if you weren't eating the greens with this French dressing, you wouldn't be consuming these nutrients. You may be having something more calorie dense as well. But of course, there's that conversation of we need to moderate like all of those excess calories. Like there's no perfect answer for this, Art. Like, yeah, I mean, of course it helps. I know that it helps to douse it in French dressing, but maybe there's a conversation you can have about slowly reducing the amount that you need, or even finding dressings that can taste good that you haven't tried before.
Yeah. And then the other question, and I've asked this question, we have a local registered dietitian we have on once in a while. How important is breakfast? Is it still the most important breakfast meal of the day?
Yeah, I do think that it is. And one of the reasons is that it really sets your day up for success. A lot of the things that we do during the day, like, for example, work or exercise or whatever we're trying to do, be social, is so much easier with a food in our stomach. And so we need to prime the pump. We need to have food in the morning to make us feel good and to be able to function the right way. Otherwise, you can become groggy. Later on, oftentimes people overeat because they didn't have enough to eat earlier. And oftentimes they feel that, okay, I didn't eat earlier, so I'm going to have, some excess calories right now, and it doesn't make that much of a difference if I only have one meal a day. But oftentimes people tend to overdo it in those later meals.
How good for you is yogurt? And I asked that specifically because in the last, I don't know, maybe 6 months, I've discovered Chobani yogurt, and I get the Greek yogurt with the fruit in the bottom, stir it all up and eat it. And I really enjoy it. But it's not, is that a whole meal or not? for breakfast?
It certainly can be. I think that, adding some granola or having some oats with it
I've
can be a
done that.
really good idea, because some grains is going to have some fiber. It's going to have those hearty carbohydrates that actually give us energy, because protein itself in the short term doesn't give us energy. So it's important to include some berries and things like that. Now, yogurt is great for a number of reasons. Of course, it's got that protein, so it's going to keep us fuller for longer. Oftentimes, it has vitamin D added to it, and it also has calcium. So those two nutrients work together to support our bone health. Another thing is that it has those probiotics, and that's incredibly important for a healthy gut. And something to recognize about having a healthy gut is that 90% of our immune system, or so, maybe it's a little less than that, is housed in our gut. So our immunity is tied to our gut health. And then our serotonin is also produced in the small intestine, quite a bit of it. And so if we can support our gut health in a number of ways, it can influence our mood. It can make us feel better overall and fight disease and things like that better.
All right. Well, listen, let's conclude by telling everybody where they can find more information about your topics.
Yeah, so healthiermichigan.org is a free website by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. It's a great resource for all things recipes, health information, and if you're interested in making healthier drinks like we were talking about earlier, or trying to find some mocktail recipes, we've got a ton of those on there.
All right. Shanthi, have yourself a good day. We'll talk to you in a few weeks, I'm sure.
Thanks so much, Art. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye now. Shanthi Appelo from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. We thank you for joining us this morning. We will now have open phones for the remainder of the hour here on WSGW. Let's first try and give away some money. Isn't that a good idea? I think so. Well, it's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is West, as in the West Division, W-E-S-T. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks presented by Westside Decorating Center on WSGW. Let me ask, how'd you sleep last night? Today's workers are asked to do more for less. So when you go to bed and you spend a third of your life there, you really need quality sleep. You can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. Now, you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress, and they feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home. If you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress Factory and Showroom, serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call them at 989-753-1757.
Liberty Bridge is your gateway to work, school, downtown, and the Midland Street Business District. Enjoy all the benefits of Liberty Bridge for free until April. Save time and fuel by taking the most convenient route to your destination. Avoid congestion at other local bridges and experience Bay City's newest, most reliable bridge. Brought to you by local union workers and Bay City Bridge Partners. For your passport to the lowest rates once tolling begins, get your BC Pass before April at BayCityBridgePartners.com.
If you own a small to medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible. And there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. So there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses. So don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word safeguard to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. Open phones for the remainder of the hour. Give us a call at 989-752-6111. Whatever's on your mind, we'd love to chat with you on this Wednesday morning, midweek here in April. It's already April 12th, believe it or not. Oh, my goodness gracious. But I'll tell you what, the weather, is it nice outside? Wow. Absolutely wonderful. Can't wait. Little golf action coming up soon. Matter of fact, I'm, for the first time in, 20 years maybe, I'm getting new golf clubs. And I'm actually going to get fitted. And remember, and what you will discover if you play golf, and what I discovered shockingly, the older I got, the less distance I got. And I found myself having to, move down in clubs. To give you an example, let's say, I'm an average golfer. So let's say I was hitting a 7-iron, 150 yards. Well, now if I'm lucky, I can hit it 130 yards. So it's changed my whole perspective. And my son, who is a assistant lead pro at a golf course, told me that if I get fitted and get new clubs, I will see better consistency because the clubs fit my swing, and I will see greater distance. I might pick up some of that yardage. Okay, son, I'm convinced. So I'm going to bite the bullet and get fitted for golf clubs. Meantime, things making the news. There is a story about this, and I don't know. Let's just say I'm unfamiliar with the. I don't know the source. All right. But the headline was Ukraine War leak shows Western special forces on the ground. The UK, United Kingdom, according to this story, and came from the Pentagon leaks. The UK is among a number of countries with military special forces operating inside the Ukraine, according to some of the documents leaked online. Now, that's been speculated for a long time. And these documents which were leaked are being investigated by the U.S. government, trying to find out the source of the leak. According to the document, dated on the 23rd of March, the UK has the largest contingent of special forces in the Ukraine, 50 people, followed by NATO states, Latvia with 17, France with 15. The Netherlands has 1 person on the ground. But remember, we were told the U.S. will not have any boots on the ground? Apparently, according to this document, there are 14 U.S. forces on the ground. Doesn't say where they're located or what they're doing, but nobody will comment on it. Something to watch, because we've been told no boots on the ground. All right, here's Errol in Saginaw. Errol, good morning.
If I had my way, when they catch them, they ought to execute them publicly and hang them.
The leakers?
Anyways,
yeah.
Yes, yeah. I don't want any trial that puts them in jail or someone says, well, he had family problems. But that's not what I'm calling you about. Can you tell me when the last time a man had a baby?
Not ever that I know of.
Okay. That's the first part of the question.
Other than some great comedy skits that we used to see, but no, never.
Okay. Can you tell me why the hell men are making the decision for women? Every decision that's come down that affects women, and I don't happen to be one, is men making the decisions. Why? That should be between the woman and her doctor.
Because they had the power. What can I tell you?
Well,
except in the case of the Supreme Court, where there are women on the court, but the decision was made by men for the most part.
Well, the more I think about it, the more it bothers me that we get all these men making decisions that women should be making with her doctor, no one else. And it's driving me nuts. I don't know how to solve the problem. I guess get more women on every decision-making board.
Well, that's the answer.
It is, it's absolutely crazy that they got to defer to a man's decision as to what the hell they do.
All right.
So I feel better now.
Good.
Thank you, sir. And
by the way,
I want to report on your first golf game with the brand new club.
All right. Now, let me point something out to you.
What?
Does your wife make decisions? In a lot of marriages, the women are telling men what to do.
Well, I've been married for a long, long time.
Yeah,
we both
I was
like
too.
a Cocker Spaniel, but not once in all the years that we've been married have I ever been in her purse.
Yeah, good.
And she hasn't been in my wallet.
All right.
It's something that we agreed to. So
fair enough.
A report on your golf game, sir.
All right, Errol, we'll do. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Take a break, come back. We'll get to Russ in Bay City and others when we return.
Warmer weather is hopefully on its way. At Associates in Eye Care, they want you to remember to wear sunglasses with UV protection. Most of us acquire 80% of our lifetime UV exposure before 18. So it's extremely important for children to have sunglasses with UV protection. Ultraviolet rays have harmful effects on the eyes that can lead to cataracts and macular degeneration. To make an appointment with Dr. Cox, Dr. Kazmarek, or Dr. Engel at their Saginaw or Hemlock locations, call 792-8686. Associates in Eye Care, caring for our patients as we would want to be treated.
Your day starts before the sun rises. Once your boots hit the ground, you head out to a field, a barn, or a tractor. As stewards of the land, you know anything worth doing is worth doing right. At Farm Bureau Insurance, we've always believed in and practiced this same philosophy. From heaving bales and weaning calves to spring seeding and fall harvests, it's all about an honest day's work. Knowing your insurance provider is rooted in Michigan offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Find your coverage in Vassar, Millington, and Mayville. Call Denny Miller at 989-823-8493.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it,
That sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE. 866-88-BIBLE.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
It's Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back here on WSGW in the minutes remaining. More calls. Russ is in Bay City. Russ, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Well, what a great day yesterday, man. It was beautiful out.
Yep.
Took the granddaughter over to the park on the river there in Bay City.
Ooh.
And it was packed. There were so many kids there. Oh, my God, they were having a blast. And it just, it's nice to see this warm weather again. And, and the ice cream shop at Bowie 18 is open. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Ooh.
So,
fantastic.
But, it's I don't know. With everything else going on in this world, you got to find time to just go out and have some fun with it,
Amen.
But yesterday was a great day. Got to try a new place out on Broadway, the Broadway Diner. Highly recommend it. Decent food, decent service. Had the fish and chips. It was incredible.
Good. Excellent.
So,
all right.
Just a little good stuff here and there, right?
That's good. I like it. All
right. Enjoy your new clubs.
And whenever I get them, I will. Thanks.
There you go.
Bye-bye now. And let's talk to, that was the wrong button. Charlotte in Hemlock. Charlotte, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
I would like to talk to you about this woman's right to make her decisions on her body. I was an obstetrical nurse for years, and if the woman's life were truly in danger, doctors always had the right to abort the baby.
Right.
Okay, now, there's many ways to deal with this, but when are women going to start being responsible for their body?
Love it.
That is the whole truth.
Here's my. Let me offer this up to you because I'd like to get your reaction to it. Here's how I view abortion. I do not favor it as a method of birth control. If you want to not have a baby, stay out of bed. I do favor it for the life of the mother, incest, and rape. But
Yes.
I do not favor it as a method of birth control. I think that's the improper use of it. That's me. What say you?
Yep. Well, I saw months ago when I was in Florida, this whole field of women at some college football field demanding rights for their own bodies and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, do all those women think they're going to get raped?
Mm-hmm.
Then what are they in college for? Why aren't they taking care of their own bodies? We have to set a goal somewhere. And aborting babies when you could adopt them out, this is ridiculous. And they need to get on birth control before they go to college.
Yeah, see, you're in my ballpark, because I think, if you don't want to pay, then don't play.
Yep, and you could be on birth control even though you're not sexually active.
Certainly.
If you will get raped, you're on birth control.
Yeah.
So it's called plan ahead.
Yeah, but I do make those exceptions. Life of the mother, incest, and rape. I think that's reasonable, but not as birth control.
But how many women would go in at 3 months and say, I was raped? Normally, you have to have.
Well, you need some kind of proof. I mean, it's in my world.
People that are normally raped, truly raped, most of them will go to the emergency room within a couple of days when they're.
And hopefully file a police report. Hopefully.
Well, yeah, once you're in the emergency room, there is a police report.
Right. Well, that's right. You did it for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't believe in convenient abortions.
Exactly.
We're killing off our babies, and it's just not right. You can go on birth control, and I remember when my daughter had to. She was only 14, I think, or 13 at the time, but she went on it because of the severe pain she had with her menstrual cycles.
Well, she had a medical reason.
Yep. So she was on birth control.
Mm-hmm.
But when I took her in to the specialist, she said, "You don't trust me." And he said, "No, let me tell you, I can give your mother a prescription for 2 different pills. They do the exact same thing as birth control pills do, but it'll cost her $30 a month for this one and $2 or $3 for the other one. It's up to you." Oh, she says. And I always knew that she really made good decisions.
Excellent.
But if there are decisions that parents can make, put them on birth control while they're young. When they're old enough, they're on their own.
Yep.
If you are so concerned about incest or any other kind of tragic situation.
Yeah, right.
So,
Charlotte,
anyway, I just want you to know that.
I'm glad you called. I have to interrupt because I'm out of time, but you and I are on the same page.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. All right, that'll wrap us up for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. Back to close out.
I'm starting to worry about all this crime lately.
I was worried too, so I made sure I was prepared.
How'd you do that?
I took my CPL class at Applied Training Solutions. They covered everything I needed to know to get my concealed pistol license. You can never be too safe.
Applied Training Solution is Michigan's premier training facility. We offer both live fire training and digital simulation training. Whether you're looking for your initial training or advanced training, see us at simurange.com or ATS Midland on Facebook.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
That'll do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show, for the show itself, actually. We've got news coming up, CBS and the local report. And then on Focus today, we'll talk to Ben from RoofMaxx. Find out more about that. That's what's ahead this morning, right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Inflation is easing, and that could be good news if you need to borrow money. Last month, consumer prices rose 5% year over year, and that is down from 6% in February. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
This report should help the Federal Reserve feel that it is making improvements in the rate of inflation. It may not be enough of an improvement to cause the central bank to pause its rate hike campaign when it meets in May, but if reports like this continue to show improvements, the Fed may just sit on its hands at least for the next meeting or two.
Prices for gasoline, eggs, and used cars all fell in March. Cost of food overall and shelter were up. President Biden marked the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement during a speech in Belfast today.
Peace was not inevitable. We can't ever forget that. There was nothing inevitable about it. As George Mitchell often said, the negotiations had, quote, 700 days of failure and 1 day of success.
Biden promised continued U.S. support before moving on to the Republic of Ireland, where he will address the Dublin Parliament and visit two of his ancestral hometowns. Iowa's Tim Scott, the only black Republican senator, is dipping his toes into presidential waters.
Today, our country is once again being tested. Once again, our divisions run deep, and the threat to our future is real.
He's posted a video announcing he's launching an exploratory committee, signaling his possible intent to enter the 2024 race. CBS's Finn Gomez.
If you talk to people close to Tim Scott, they believe that there is a space that he can provide where it's more of this optimistic, positive message, being conservative but not angry about it, as someone described it to me.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has made his first comments on the classified intelligence documents that found their way onto the internet. He vows the FBI will, quote, turn over every rock until they find the leaker. The U.S. is issuing more sanctions over Russia's war in Ukraine. Correspondent Cammie McCormick.
A State Department statement says these new sanctions target more than 100 entities and individuals in 20 countries. They include those supporting Russia's wealthiest billionaires and Russia's defense industry, including one operating out of China, which has provided satellite imagery of locations in Ukraine to a private military group that is fighting on behalf of Russian President Putin.
Prince Harry will attend his father's coronation at Westminster Abbey May 6th. Buckingham Palace says his wife, Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, will stay home with the children in California. Dow up 16. This is CBS News.
Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com, STIHLUSA.com.
Hi, this is Jessica. Have you given your child the opportunity to get a healthy financial start? By opening a Youth or Teen account at United Financial, your child can start learning the benefits of saving right now. We offer a variety of perks for our young members too. A special 6-month certificate of deposit, additional rewards for saving, and for good grades. Hey teens, did you know we have an account just for you? open your first checking account and debit card at the credit union, and we will also share important tips on how to best manage your new account. Visit our website for details and see just how easy it is to open your new account with United Financial Credit Union.
Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the Valley community.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 65 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Perchup. 2 people from Ogama County have been taken to Kansas to stand trial for murder. 29-year-old Callie Peters and 33-year-old Stephen Pierce were extradited after allegedly killing 75-year-old Valerie Rissman and 80-year-old Roland Chrisman of Junction City and fleeing to Michigan. Police say the 2 were arrested in Saginaw when they failed to drive off after trying to sell a vehicle belonging to the Chrismans. The pair waived their extradition hearing late last month and have now been returned to Kansas to face those charges. A Flint police officer is charged with misdemeanor assault for striking a handcuffed man. 51-year-old Charles Redmond is accused of punching and kicking Terry Taylor in the face while the man was handcuffed and being held down on a porch and detained by 2 other officers. The alleged incident occurred January 26 and was captured on a home security camera. The video appears to show Taylor trying to hit one of the officers before the arrest. Redmond was placed on administrative leave without pay following the incident, but has since been reassigned to desk duty. A pretrial hearing was held on Monday. A free heart health event is coming to Saginaw this May. Ascension St. Mary's in Saginaw will be hosting a free event on May 6th, which is open to the public with no pre-registration required. Doors open at 7 a.m. and participants should arrive by 11 a.m. to receive a free screening. The services include an EKG, blood pressure screening, and BMI reading. There will also be staff on hand to answer questions with a physician on site to review the results. Ascension St. Mary's is located at 800 South Washington Avenue. WSGW News Time 11:07.
Wouldn't you like to have the peace of mind in knowing that you have protected the important things in your life, like your family and your assets, against the high cost of the nursing home, the IRS, and probate?
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I practice elder law, estate, and asset protection planning. There are 3 myths about Medicaid laws that you should know. Myth number 1, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your house. That's not true. Myth number 2, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 5 years to qualify. That's not true either. You can avoid this problem. Myth number 3, you have to give away your assets to protect them. That's not true either. You can keep control of your assets and protect them.
Are you prepared? Is your estate planning current? Are your assets safe? Are you Medicaid ready? Listen, learn, and talk to a professional who has made it a career of helping families and businesses protect their assets. Attend Jerry Reif's Are You Prepared workshop on Wednesday, April 19th at Capocco Community Credit Union in Saginaw at 2 p.m. To register, call 989-790-1461 or register online at jerryreiflawyer.com.
WSGW News Time 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. Michigan Congresswoman Debbie Dingell will not be running for the U.S. Senate seat currently held by Debbie Stabenow. In making the announcement, Dingell said while she had been encouraged to run, she can better serve Michigan in the U.S. House of Representatives. Dingle says she loves her job, district, and constituents. Stabenow announced earlier this year she will retire after her term expires next year. Finally, some good news on inflation. The pain is starting to ease. This is according to Michigan News Network's Murray Feldman.
For the first time since September of 2020, monthly food prices did not rise. In fact, food that you buy to take home and eat fell 3% last month. Breaking it down, meat and poultry, fish, eggs, all down almost 1.5% in price. Fruits and vegetables fell over 1% last month. Dairy products were down a fraction in price. The nation's overall inflation rate fell from 6% in February to 5% in March. A far cry from over 9%. That's what we saw last summer. Murray Feldman, Michigan News Network.
The Michigan Department of Natural Resources is hoping to expand its staff. The DNR will be offering accelerated conservation officer training to fill roles in 14 counties, primarily in the north, central, and west parts of the state. There are a number of requirements, including being a graduating student from a law enforcement academy and eligible for licensure, holding a current license, or having been licensed in another state. You also have to be 21 or older. The application deadline is May 10th. For more details, visit michigan.gov/DNR. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
For your Wednesday, we'll have sunny skies with a high of 78 degrees. This is thanks to high pressure really starting to settle into our south, allowing fully clear skies. Just like the last few days, we'll see that gusty afternoon wind picking up, though. Today's wind gusts up to around 35 miles per hour from the southwest. For tonight, we'll have a clear and comfortable night with a low of 56 degrees. Your southwest wind slowing back down. Then on Thursday, sunny again with a high of 79 degrees. That southwest wind gusting up to 25 in the afternoon, but just not as strong as it was on Wednesday. For your Thursday night, 53 for the low, then Friday, 76 for your high with partly to mostly sunny skies. Our next chance of showers, that doesn't arrive until Saturday night. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
67 degrees here at WSGW.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMaxx. That's RoofMaxx with 2 X's.
And you can find out more online at GetRoofMaxx.com, or you can call Ben at 989-859-6751. But we're going to make it even easier, because on Focus today, we're going to talk to Ben from RoofMaxx, and we do that right now by saying hi to Ben. Good morning.
Morning, Art. How you doing today?
Hey, we're doing well. Thanks a lot. As we do regularly when we talk to you, even though I would have to think you're living in a shell if you don't know about RoofMaxx, give us an overview of RoofMaxx, what it is and what it does.
Yeah, so the quick version of it is RoofMaxx is a bio oil we spray on your existing shingles that rehydrates the shingle, brings back the flexibility, waterproofability, and functionality to the shingle so it performs like a new shingle would perform. And effectively, we avoid replacement, which can be kind of invasive and expensive and take a toll on your landscaping and everything else. So by maintaining the roof and extending the life of it, we can keep the cost down on your cost of owning the roof and maintain it along the way versus replacing it prematurely.
And if I let my roof go, if I don't treat it with RoofMaxx or I don't do anything to it, what's my risk down the road?
The risk is not getting the life out of it that you're expecting or you may or may not have been promised. So most roofs that go on are typically sold as a 30-year shingle. That's what the manufacturer calls them. It's almost becoming more of a trade name. The national average is 18 to 22 years. I think it actually might be getting lower than that, but your 30-year roof's getting roughly 20 years out of it. So by not maintaining it and looking for issues before they get big, catch them while they're small, you're looking at taking a 30-year roof that you maybe thought was going to get you 10 more years out of it and having to replace it 30% sooner than you thought you would. So
All right. So when you come, if I call you up and I say, Ben, I want you to come give me an estimate. What's the process for you to give me an estimate? What do you do when you come to my house?
Yeah, so the first thing I do is get up on your roof after we talk a little bit and look for any problems or concerns that you have. I get up, walk the whole roof system, look for any reasons not to treat it. If you've got bad decking or the shingles are too far gone, or I just make sure RoofMaxx is a good fit for your roof system. And I'll, take notes and take pictures of any problems that we have so you can get a really good view of what's actually going on up there without yourself having to climb up there and get a look at it. And then I get pricing put together, and all that happens right at that appointment. There's no wait a couple weeks for me to get back to you. We assess it, give you the quote right there, and then hopefully move forward with your project.
So just how much can you do? And here's what I mean by that. If you go up on my roof and you look and my shingles look like they would be a good candidate for RoofMaxx, but maybe the flashing around my chimney or something is not in great shape and needs to be repaired, how much can you do versus somebody else has to come in and do it?
Yeah, so we're a one-stop shop. We do roof replacement. We do targeted roof repair. We do counter flashing around your chimneys. I was actually on a roof this morning. Whoever installed it did a really nice job, but they never finished the flashing job around the chimney, so we do that quite often. So anything that's wrong with your roof, we can solve it for you. But our goal is to treat it and just maintain it and do some minor repairs to help you get as much life out of it as possible.
All right. So let's say I've got one of those 30-year roofs, and let's say I've had it up there for 15, 18 years. And you come out and look and you say, yep, it's good enough for RoofMaxx. What's next?
Yeah, so if you want to move forward with the process, then we go ahead and schedule your appointment. And one of the things that our customers really enjoy about RoofMaxx is it's really painless. It takes a couple hours, unless there's some major repairs or bigger repairs we have to get into, but you're looking typically 1.5 to 2.5 hours for us to do our tune-up, get your pipe boots, gaskets replaced, look for any nails that are poking through, just get all the maintenance that gets neglected on the roof caught up to where it should be. Then we spray RoofMaxx on, clean up any little messes that we make along the way and leave the house better than we found it, with a roof that's got 5 years or more life added to it.
I was just going to ask, the next question was, when would you have to come back again, and how many times can you come back?
Yeah, so depending on where the roof's at in its life cycle, we can treat it up to 3 times. And that would happen in 5-year intervals. So if we did your roof today, 5 years from today, we can come back, reassess it, see if it's ready for a second treatment. If it is, then we would treat it again, obviously with the homeowner's approval, and can add up to 15 years of life to the roof that's there. So let's say your roof's one of those that was a 30-year that's going to get 20. By maintaining it early enough and often enough, we can take that 20-year roof and add 15 more years, getting you 35 or more years out of that roof system.
The reason for the limitation of only 3 times, is that just where the testing has ended, or is it still being
That's where the testing's ended. Yeah, we don't have enough real world data to push it past that. We're all hopeful that we'll be able to add a 4th treatment in, but we don't want to oversell the product, and we want to make sure we can back up our claims. So,
all right, hang on. I got to take a break, and we'll come back and chat more with Ben from RoofMaxx. And again, you can find out more online at getroofmaxx.com. But remember, RoofMaxx has 2 X's. We'll be back with Ben right after these notes on WSGW, and let's start by trying to give away some money. It's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. The word is right, as in right field, RIGHT. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. 1 winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center on WSGW.
Let the sun shine in with new window coverings. This is Sonia with Westside Decorating Center. We offer a variety of soft shades and blinds that protect against damaging UV rays without disrupting your view. Ask about our slumber shades if you prefer a complete room darkening experience. Call our experts for a personal consultation at 989-793-6182 or visit our newly remodeled showroom, Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
At Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, an evening with James Taylor.
Oh, I've seen fire, I've seen rain.
Friday night, June 23rd, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
How sweet it is to be loved by.
Tickets start at $36, on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office and etix.com.
Oh, Mexico, you got a friend.
James Taylor, Under the Stars, June 23rd at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Chimeric antigen T-cell therapy, or CAR T-cell therapy, is a unique, personalized approach that harnesses a patient's own T-cells and genetically engineers them to recognize and attack cancer. Among patients with large B-cell lymphoma, or LBCL, it's making a difference in this difficult-to-treat blood cancer. Dr. Manali Kamdar is an associate professor of medicine and clinical director of lymphoma services at the University of Colorado Hospital.
The safety profile and effectiveness seen with CAR T-cell therapy reinforces use among appropriate large B-cell lymphoma patients. Advances in treatment have created a shift in the nearly 30-year standard practice, increasing the potential of long-term remission for more patients.
Patients treated with CAR T-cell therapy may experience serious side effects, including cytokine release syndrome and neurotoxicity, which can happen in the first few days to several weeks after infusion. Talk to a doctor to see if CAR T-cell therapy is right for you. For more information, visit bms.com/cell therapy info. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
If you could wave a wand and change one thing about your house, what would it be?
Hold that thought, but forget the wand. Home improvement isn't magic.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer, we can show you the tricks of the trade for remodeling and repair.
And how to not get fooled when you're choosing and directing a contractor. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Phone in your fix-up questions here this weekend.
On the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
The Money Pit, Saturday mornings at 9 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW's Focus, brought to you by RoofMaxx, and we're talking about RoofMaxx today with Ben from RoofMaxx. And Ben, let me ask about shingles. Are there types of shingles you can't treat?
There are still some on the market. Most of them have been taken off by now, but it needs to have an asphalt base to the shingle. There's some synthetic shingles out there. There's obviously metal and other composition shingles, but yeah, it's got to have an asphalt core to it, which that's something that we look at when we get up on the roof to make sure that it qualifies for treatment.
I would guess that the majority of shingles today are asphalt based, right?
Correct. Yeah. I would say 90, maybe 95, probably closer to 90% of the roofs that we get up on, we can actually treat. And
as a homeowner, other than measuring by years, are there things that my roof is telling me that I should be looking for that might prompt me to call you?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing is just making sure you're getting an annual or at least a biannual or every 2-year roof inspection done on it to make sure that there aren't little problems that need to be taken care of. But just from the ground, without having to get up on a ladder and take on some of those risks, if you see granules coming out of your downspouts or on your sidewalks around the home or streaking throughout the roof system, that's a good indicator that the asphalt's retracting, the shingles are drying out, and could use some help.
So can I hire you just to come out and inspect my roof?
Yeah, absolutely. We do them all the time.
And what do you look for when you get up there?
Yeah, so I try to look at all the major leak prone areas and then just kind of start from the gutter line all the way up to the peak and look for displaced shingles that have slidden down and maybe didn't get nailed right or blew loose, missing shingles. We always check the flashing. We see a lot of chimney flashing that's not in at all or not done right. Look for failed caulking. A lot of roofers use just your kind of cheap asphalt-based caulking. That dries out really quick and fails and falls off your nail heads or your flashing kits and that type of stuff. So look for all those leak-prone areas, get those all sealed back up, and Or if we're just doing an inspection, make recommendations to the homeowner of things that need to get done to make sure the roof system is working appropriately.
And did I hear you say, aside from RoofMaxx, you also do roof replacement?
Yeah, we don't do a ton of them because, like I said, our goal is to keep them on there, but we have a lot of customers that are looking for somebody to replace it, so that's something that we added in as well. So, yeah, roof cleaning with our roof shampoo product, RoofMaxx, and then also replacement if needed. That's always our last-ditch effort.
So let me ask this. In terms of shingles, what's the difference in the various shingles? If we have, let's say they're all asphalt shingles, what's the difference in quality? Do I get what I pay for if I buy a more expensive shingle?
Hopefully you do most of the time. You really want to do some research. There's a lot of great resources on the internet nowadays. YouTube's got some really good channels that do independent testing that aren't affiliated with shingle companies. But yeah, typically the more money you pay for the shingle, the higher quality, the thicker it is. But just every homeowner, and hopefully that whatever company you're using to replace or get your assessments done, is taking the time to explain to you the pros and cons of the different shingles and what makes them a quality versus not as high a quality shingle. Because yeah, not all shingles are the same.
All right, so let's
typically
say
in your different pricing levels, they're similar. Sorry.
Let's say I buy a 30-year shingle, I buy a decent quality 30-year shingle, and let's say I wait to call you till the shingle's 20, 22 years old. Assuming they're in decent shape, does that mean you can start applying when they're 20, 22 years old rather than 15?
We can typically. Depends again on the shingle. So not all of them once you get to that age. If your roof's usually 8 to 12 years old is when we start applying, and that's usually the best time to start. The oldest roof we've done was 32 years old. That was an older, thicker, higher quality shingle. But I've been on some roofs that are 15 to 20 that were too far gone. A low quality shingle, poor ventilation on the roof system, and it just cooked the shingle to an early grave, unfortunately. So, if you're even interested, we don't charge for roof assessment. So I would give us a call. We can get out and do an inspection, give us my opinion of where the roof's at, and very low pressure. I want to try to tuck you into something you don't want to do. So
all right, let's
provide you with information. You can decide what's best for you.
So let's talk about that contact information. GetRoofMaxx.com with 2 X's is the website.
Yep.
How do they get a hold of you personally?
Yeah. So typically the best way to get a hold of me is either through the website or to call me. My number is 989-859-6751. And that's 989-859-6751. We're actually end of the month here, I believe it's 28th, 29th, we'll be at the Midland Home Show at Dow Diamond. So come by and see us there. We'd love to talk to you and
great.
Let us show you what we have. Yeah.
Look forward to it. All right. Thanks a lot, Ben. We'll talk to you down the road. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Pleasure being on.
Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
You too. Bye.
Ben at RoofMaxx, and we'll take our last break, come back, and close out.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMaxx, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMaxx is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace RoofMaxx.
RoofMaxx, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle